What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1086 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I hope you guys all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. I hope you got to celebrate America's birthday, and I hope you had a good time doing it. I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Hope you enjoyed your holiday. I know I felt very patriotic in the streets of Nashville. It was overrun, but, you know, you just try to keep your mind off of the smell of the crowd and feel that patriotic spirit.
The smell of the crowd?
Yeah, it was just straight up like beer, vomit, sweat, that kind of thing. But you know, you gotta love it. It's people coming together for love of their country.
It's not always pretty.
American rejects.
It's not always pretty, but it's always...
Yeah, it's not always pretty, but they've got the spirit. And things are heating up in the world of pop culture and also the studio that Brett is currently sitting in. So excuse his scantily clad appearance today.
Look, I understand that this is
kind of scandalous.
This does not conform to traditional office standards. But the AC...
You've been told that you get a lot of attention at the beach.
Yes, so. But the thing is that the AC is still broken here, and it's been fine for the most part because they have offices upstairs that have their own individual AC units. And the AC will make its way out of their offices and down the stairs. And as long as I keep the curtain that used to be behind you open, I get some of the air. But since everybody is out of town in Las Vegas, that air did not start making its way down until people got into the office much later. So I recorded a video yesterday, and I did it. It's funny. I did it on the YouTube the YouTube algorithm thing going on in the UK, where the government is getting involved.
What?
So the UK government is getting involved, basically forcing YouTube through legislation to put certified BBC, British channels like the BBC and ITV on the front pages, basically giving them preference over individual creators. And I said, I feel a certain amount of kinship with them because I too don't have air conditioning right now and hate censorship.
In the middle of a heat wave, no less.
And
we'll have beans on toast at this point.
Yes, today it's at least a little bit nicer in here, but it was way worse over the weekend. But yes, ignore my appearance. As soon as I get AC again, or the weather cools down, I can go back to wearing normal clothes. We have a 20.
We do have a 20 here before we start. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Monday, Brett and Mary. I'm pissed that I had to work 10 hours on the 4th so a coworker could see Bob Dylan, only to be texted later that the concert sucked. At least I got brisket and jalapeno cheddar sausage when I got off."
Well, what did he expect to happen? He was at a Bob Dylan concert.
Yeah,
that was what was going to happen every time.
Was there any room for surprise there? It was a Bob Dylan concert. You know what you signed up for.
The only surprise would have been if you had gotten a text that said the concert was awesome, because it's not possible. Yeah, because Bob Dylan.
We would have been shocked to hear that.
You could just go listen to a homeless person that's old warble on the side of the road somewhere. It would be the same thing and probably be more coherent. Guys, as always, hit the like button on this episode and subscribe to the channel. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, please and thank you. Share the episode out with your friends and your family and your loved ones, people in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the show with, the faster our channel can grow. So thank you guys so much for that. What are we getting into today? We do have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I did a video over the weekend about the excessive downvotes happening on the Odyssey trailer, the final trailer before the release of the movie. Well, those downvotes have only grown since then, and it's gotten worse as they have turned off comments on the X pages for it. I just saw that there is apparently no press tour stop in Greece.
Oh my gosh!
I'm able to confirm that. Maybe there's another leg of the press tour that I don't know about. Either way, it's a bad look. I saw people in the comments are like, "Well, Greece isn't a big market, so why would they go there?" I'm like, that's like, you know that meme that's like, all of being a liberal is just pretending to not know what's going on, thus making discussion impossible. That's kind of what it is, except for it's part of being a Nolan bro is just pretending you don't understand what's going on, and thus making
the Nolan bro heroes are living out. They are.
So we will talk about all of the issues with that. There may be more stories as it comes out, in this coming week. I still have hopes for this movie because the central premise for the reason why everybody's angry with it aren't reasons that necessarily insult me, and I've never read the Odyssey or the Iliad or any of this, so it doesn't matter to me.
I bet that's also true for most of the movie's critics and haters right now.
That they haven't read
I don't think that you had to have read the Odyssey in order to, have a right to criticize the adaptation, though.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just, I've always been pretty consistent about this. This stuff doesn't bother me. And the day may come where they race swap Michael Weston on a Burn Notice remake, and then you'll take to the streets. I'll re-examine my beliefs on it then. I don't think it's going to bother me unless they make racial strife some sort of plot line for Michael Weston in that show, which I don't think they will. So just my thoughts on it. We'll get into it. There's a lot of stuff there. We're also going to talk about the adaptation for a book that's being turned into a movie called Children of Blood and Bone. And I believe we got into this a couple of years, it would have been over, not 2 years, but maybe a little under 2 years ago now.
Whenever The Acolyte was already out and we were talking about Amandla Stenberg's upcoming role in this movie.
Yes.
And there was some backlash to it because Amandla is light-skinned.
Yes.
And
so
fans of the franchise felt it was not representing the character in the story accurately.
But why do they care?
Inspired by African mythology.
I don't know why they care. It's a fictional character.
Yeah, it's not real, so it doesn't matter.
So we're going to talk about that because the author of this book series has cut all ties, says they won't be going to the premiere, they won't talk about it, sent Amandla Stenberg a Will Smith-esque message saying, keep my name out your effing mouth. And we'll get into all of it. It's very interesting.
It's kind of crashing out in an unprofessional way, but I'm like, you know what? I guess if Amandla gets to do it, how about all bets are off?
And
Just
she's still an executive producer on this movie, so theoretically,
wait, what? I thought that she rescinded her affiliation with it.
I don't think she can take away that. Like it's probably tied to the contract for signing it over. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. So we'll get into that whole thing. Also, Obsession star Indy Navarrete is already getting canceled because that's what happens when you enter Hollywood and you get the purity spirals. People start immediately finding something to be upset about. In this case, she kind of, I guess, generically likes Johnny Depp, which means that she's
she's in there. She is 100% in there. I have no doubt.
She's in his DMs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, what always happens when you get famous as a young woman in Hollywood, you get a lot of hate. You'll get canceled, whatever. You're also going to get into a relationship with a decrepit man. So that is going to happen.
We've got that. We've got a bunch of, and don't forget Taylor Swift. We've also got a wedding and a divorce. So with that being said, are you ready to go?
All sides of the marriage spectrum, right? Marriage is a spectrum and we're all on it.
If you're ready to go, we can go. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, let's go for it. Let's talk about the fairy tale wedding trademarked of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Or is it Travis Swift Kelce now?
Yeah, it was perhaps a travesty. Get it? So as literally everyone predicted, the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce union was an absolute circus. And in my opinion, a commercialized bastardization of something that is supposed to be sacred, that's supposed to be dignified, that is really for your loved ones, your family, your friends. And it turned into a major celebrity event instead. And the details, we're not going to be exacting about reporting all of it because, of course, paparazzi were cordoned off into a very small section. There were closed streets. They tried to keep the press out of this event, but there were leaks despite NDAs. So what was reported beforehand, briefly, I think, was that they weren't actually going to get married at Madison Square Garden. And it was all a ruse, but that was not, in fact, the case. It was actually that they had their nuptials privately, like the day before their rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
So they were already married before the event went on, legally speaking.
That's what we thought was going to happen, right? Like, I didn't think that they were going to, like, get married at the event.
Right.
That just seemed like a nightmare.
The paperwork nightmare. Yeah. So in the ceremony at MSG, Adam Sandler was the officiator of their marriage, which is incredibly cartoonish and just like so Reddit.
So I can't. I had to mention to you, and I tweeted about this, and I know, look, I don't know if I was the first person to make this connection, but the fact that he's a musician and they didn't have him be the wedding singer, it's a millennial's dream to be able to do that. If at the very least, I want to find out later.
When people think of Adam Sandler, do they think musician first?
They think of the wedding, maybe not the wedding singer first, but it's one of his quintessential movies, and he's already involved in the wedding, right? At the very least, he should have performed one of those songs from the movie at the, like, if, what's her name? Was it Lena Dunham?
Lena Dunham,
If Lena Dunham can do some speech at this event, then at the very least, Adam Sandler should be like, somebody kill me, please. Like, come on.
I mean, overall, I think this event was not enjoyable for most people besides the couple. And I feel like at a wedding, you are responsible as the host of an event to be hospitable to the people there. And I feel they failed at that in multiple ways.
No phones, no way of sign an NDA through threat of severe legal action if you do anything or post anything.
There was one ignorant boomer who broke his NDA, and hopefully they're going to give him a pass for this. It was the CEO of AMC Theaters, Adam Aron, who, after the event took place, took to X and posted a massive essay about his experience at the wedding and gave as much detail as he possibly could. Because for some reason, I guess an NDA is open to interpretation to this guy.
Well, he's a CEO. He's like, look, I can fight it. Maybe this is my moment.
Yeah. In a now deleted post, he said, "It did not look like Madison Square Garden. Immediately upon entry, everything, floors, walls, ceiling, was draped in peach and white. Large, blown-up pictures of Taylor and Travis at each age, year by year, from 1 to late teenagerhood, were on display. A small portion of MSG was cordoned off, devoid of any notion that a basketball or hockey game ever shared the space. Somehow, magically, someone created an outdoor garden at a lush countryside retreat. Everything draped off, this time in green and white, real flowers, and I think artificial. 3 welcomed 15 rows of maybe 75 or so chairs. They say there were around 1,000 attendees, but surprisingly, it all felt intimate and small. Everything was close." He said romantic songs were played to set the mood until a few violins and cello ushered in the wedding party. He said the officiant, not Adam Sandler by name, was warm, welcoming, funny, and eloquent. He described their vows as long, entertaining, personal, charming, emotional, irreverent, and endearing.
I don't even know if that's possible. Like, it feels it's such a stage production that, say, somebody like Travis Kelce, who's not like a public speaker, he's not a performer outside of, sports.
You can barely finish a sentence.
Like, imagine him giving
barely literate.
Okay, like, I don't know if that's true.
I like her a lot.
I don't know if that's
good at singing.
I don't know if that's true. But imagine, like, the scope of, like, the building, and, like, at a 100-person wedding, a person stumbling over their words is endearing. This it just seems like they got hired for a play and they don't know their lines.
Right. And I'm going to just say a 20-minute long vow reading is never going to be endearing to anyone except for the couple. And that was reportedly how long they took on stage. They were going for 20 minutes each. That's insane. That is
so
psycho.
I mean, but the thing is, the whole thing is self-indulgent.
I know, but like, that is just beyond. Like, I went to a wedding that had, I think, total like 10 speeches, and they were all like kind of long from the family, and like, I was just aghast. I mean, I guess the family enjoyed it, but no one else did. Anyway, Lena Dunham stole the show. She's a longtime friend of Taylor Swift, and she said something that offended a lot of people in the audience. During her speech, she quipped that American football is just straight guys reenacting gay porn. The crude line instantly became one of the night's biggest talking points, with our insider saying the joke drew a divided response from gathered guests. I'm guessing the people in the audience who are affiliated with the NFL felt some type of way about that.
It would be like like a player for the Chiefs coming up and being like, being a singer is just being a theater kid getting revenge on the people that stuffed you into a locker. It's insulting to them. Their
I feel
livelihood.
like Taylor Swift wouldn't have found that funny, but they say while the joke may have raised eyebrows, one person was clearly delighted. Taylor Swift immediately declared Dunham a genius after her speech. So she gets a pass.
Look, I wonder if Travis Kelce has like a sense of humor that aligns with this, that makes her. So either there's two possibilities here. She's really cruel, and she likes making fun of what her husband does for a living, or having somebody insult what her husband does for a living at their wedding, or he has a sense of humor about this type of stuff, and it fits in line with what he's like in his private life. We can't know that, but. I'm
just saying it ought to be a two-way street, and I don't think it is. And
there's a $20 There's a $20 super chat from Kyle Dixon. He says, "Look at this muscle Chad in a tank top." Thank you, Kyle, for the 20.
It's too bad they're cropped out right now.
Yeah, well, it's not free. The gun show isn't free.
One notable absence from the event was Blake Lively, who actually chose Taylor Swift as the godmother for one of her children. She was not invited, and now some people are speculating that based on the timeline of Taylor Swift's most recent album, that her song Canceled was not actually about Blake Lively, and that it was in fact about Brittany Mahomes, who was canceled for being a Trump supporter.
Wait, so does that mean that that she thinks that she actually likes Brittany Mahomes?
Yeah, that she was taking her side privately as she was receiving backlash for being a Trump supporter. And that's what the song Canceled allegedly was about.
Oh.
It was the corniest, most cringe song I think she's ever made and will ever make, hopefully.
40 minutes.
So bad.
40 minutes. I'm with the chat. 40 minutes of vows is
that's
bonkers.
Crazy work. Everyone there is already probably slightly drunk and just falling asleep at their tables. Speaking of which, they had a cocktail menu with some custom drinks, one called the English Teacher, another called the Gym Teacher, and thirdly the Tea and Tequila.
I'm okay. We had desserts
names starting in T.
You will remember that we had desserts based around our cats. So at the very least, I can accept some novel ideas on the menu.
I guess this is just I don't find it endearing because I don't know them, and they're drawing on memes about their relationship rather than inside jokes between them, and it feels like they still want to, walk that tightrope of wanting privacy but also doing everything they can to make this a media heavy event.
Yeah, this is in general the amount of secrecy was it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
You could have done this wedding in the Poconos with 200 people and it would have been fine, and I'm sure it would have been beautiful. This just reeks of self-importance to me.
When I pointed out the comparison between this wedding and that of Zendaya and Tom Holland, I got a crazy amount of replies from Swifties claiming that Tom Holland and Zendaya are nobodies and that nobody cared about their wedding, and that's why they were able to have a private wedding. And maybe I'm just living on a different side of the algorithm. I guess they're not nobodies. They are A-list celebrities, and they had a private wedding.
Zendaya is very famous, and Tom Holland is literally Spider-Man, which is about to open to $228 million at the box office. People know who both of them are. I guess a bunch of
Taylor Swift stan accounts just have a different algorithm, so they think Taylor Swift is the most famous person on the planet. That's definitely what it feels possible at her level of fame to have a private event.
That's what it feels like these days, is everything is you're so sectioned off into your own algorithm that it's very, very difficult to kind of gauge how famous somebody you don't know is. And people are very quick to be like, nobody's ever heard of them.
And most of the backlash to this wedding wasn't really about what I was saying, which is like the commercialization of something that's supposed to be sacred. It was mostly taking more of like a class war tone, and people were offended by this, ostentatious display of their wealth. So she tried to make up for that by donating millions of dollars to charities,
like $26
in the
million
week ahead of the wedding. Yeah, they donated jointly $26 million to more than 20 charities in the week before their wedding, which included a bunch of food banks and
Dolly Parton. I saw Dolly Parton sent them a thank you, like a video thank you.
The donation to schools, libraries, like education related charities. I won't go through the whole list.
How much is Travis Kelce worth? How much is Travis Kelce worth?
I'm pretty sure he's in like the centimillionaire range, but maybe he's not. Maybe
that means
like hundreds.
Yeah.
But I think he might actually be in like sorry, there's like really loud thunder right now.
So if the bro's worth like 50 or 60 million, making him donate 13 is just cruel.
Yeah, well, it's their money now. But of course, some people were not satisfied with this. Somebody responded and said, wow, nothing for immigrants, LGBT people, and racial minorities. They picked the safest possible charities, LMAO.
It says he's worth $90 to $100 million. I mean, make of that what you will, how accurate those types of estimates are. But I buy that. He's been very successful for a very long time in a sport that pays very, very well.
Which brings us to the rumored prenup, which I saw on my timeline. It's probably fake, but here is the rumored prenuptial agreement. This is supposed to cover Taylor Swift's
there's no way this is real.
$2 billion net worth against Travis Kelce's reported $80 million net worth to prevent divorce settling. Lawyers say infidelity clauses in the prenup to penalize a cheating partner, which are normally about $50K, are up to $20 million for the billionaire per violation. Prenup is already seen as a sign of distrust, but adding infidelity clause is big enough to actually bankrupt him. Why? Now, this is not confirmed as their prenup. I'm sure they have one, and I'm sure that it does involve all sorts of scenarios, but it's mainly to protect her wealth, not his. There was a community note here.
What if he snuck in one that said, like, if you leave me, I get all your masters?
Yeah, that would be incredible. But it does say the specific prenup details, like these infidelity penalties, are unconfirmed speculation. So I'm sure there are some interesting details in the prenup, but we'll never see it.
No.
And I doubt that they are going to get divorced. A lot of people are gleefully predicting that this marriage is going to end,
which is ghoulish.
I don't think that comes from a good place to say things like that, and I also don't think that they are going to split up.
Good. I mean, let's hope they stay together.
The thunder is crazy right now. Is this a bad omen for their marriage?
No, I mean the wedding's over.
Okay.
Don't fall into magical thinking, even if it even in.
Can you hear it?
I could hear it a little bit.
Okay, yeah, it's coming down.
It doesn't necessarily sound like thunder, though. It kind of sounded like somebody skateboarding in like the room above you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So I'm not saying I'm predicting them to be the happiest couple in the world, but I think they're going to last.
It's you would hope, right? Like you don't ever want to see somebody like. You don't want, like, it feels like that's like you've reached the end of the internet and you've been online too long if you're like actively wishing for things like this to fail.
There are some things where you can see it coming, like J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Yeah. I'm not surprised that they split up, but this one, I'm seeing them staying together.
Let's hope that is true. Now on to far worse news, right?
Yeah, so Frankie Muniz and his wife, Paige, just announced that they are getting a divorce after a decade together. And they also have a son who was born in 2021, who, of course, is in the mix here. People are feeling really sorry for their son, given that he's so young. The couple had been together for a decade. The timeline is a little bit murky, but in 2020, they got married, and then they had their child in March of 2021. And they posted this joint announcement on social media, which is interesting because at the end of it, these couples usually say we're asking for privacy, but at the same time are telling everyone about their private family situation. So here is what they said with a family photo. Life update. Following a period of separation that we kept private, Paige and I have decided to move forward with ending our marriage. After 10 beautiful years together, we've grown in ways that made us realize our relationship feels most natural and strong as a deep friendship and as co-parents. We share an incredible son who remains the center of our world, and we're both happier, stronger parents because of the love and growth we've shared. I'm endlessly grateful to Paige for everything she has done for me and our family. She put her own dreams on hold so I could chase mine, and she has always been my biggest supporter. That foundation of respect and friendship isn't going anywhere. We're excited to keep building Muniz Racing together and to co-parent our boy with the same teamwork and love we've always had. We're closing one chapter with gratitude and opening the next with bright futures ahead for us and as is individuals, and especially for our son. Thank you for the love and support. We both choose to not entertain any questions on this matter. Please respect our family's privacy during this time.
What does she do for a living? I mean, other than working with him.
I'm not entirely sure how they met, but he is making it sound like they work together on his career. And they're going to continue working together, which sounds fraught, to say the least.
I mean, that depends on how long. If this is the type of situation where it's like for years, it's just been kind of slowly like fizzling out, and it just feels like they finally like pulled the trigger on something like this, and maybe they started working together early on and they realized maybe it just works better to do that rather than this. Doesn't make it right in a lot of ways, especially when you've got a son, but it's just like I can see how you'd end up in this situation.
Well, of course, people noticed the language here is mostly talking about them and their happiness, and it doesn't address the fact that there is a helpless victim in this situation who is their child. And of course, he is not going to be happier for this happening in his life. He's not even going to remember his parents being together, probably.
And
at his age.
And as you pointed out before, it is hilarious to simultaneously make a video about how you can be best friends with your ex-wife and then ask for privacy. Now, this is one of those things where I will always understand them asking, like, hey, like, please respect our privacy. But the best you should be able to hope for in that situation, especially when you're somebody of his level of public note, is to be like, look, I hope you guys leave me alone, but probably not going to happen.
I know you won't.
But you can ask.
The most disturbing part of his original post before he deleted it was the inclusion of this video where him and his now ex-wife are dancing together in their living room with their son in the video. And it's captioned, "Who says you can't stay best friends with your baby mama?" So he deleted the video after understandably getting backlash for posting it. I also think it's kind of trashy to call the mother of your child and now your ex-wife your baby mama. It's just low class, in my opinion. And people did not take kindly to him acting like this is something that should be celebrated.
Yeah.
And it's not enough for us to merely tolerate this as a divorce, but we have to also celebrate it with you and like actively support it and think that it's this joyful occasion. It's very awkward.
The video would have probably taken on a different context, especially in current year if there was no kids involved.
It would take on a different context if it were in a family group chat instead of on Instagram.
I'm saying like when you're a celebrity. Okay, celebrities do stuff like this, and I think people would be, especially these days, people would be a lot more forgiving or even understanding of that if there wasn't a child involved, which makes it seem like you're making light of what his situation will be like going forward. Mm-hmm. I mean, divorce in the secular world is so normal, right? These days, like maybe divorce rates are going down because millennials are waiting till they're older to get married, but in general, it's still a very normal thing. in American culture. So seeing celebrities do stuff like this isn't weird. It's just weird when you make your son part of that process.
Yeah, I think he probably wasn't expecting the amount of backlash that he received.
Yeah.
And that's why he moved to delete the post and then reposted without the video of them dancing together. And he actually got into a back and forth with Michael Knowles on X. Michael Knowles quote tweeted it and said, Muniz deleted the bizarre video of him and his wife dancing to celebrate their divorce, but reposted the same nauseous text. This is the most offensive part of liberal morality. It's not enough that we tolerate their sin and vice. They demand we celebrate it. Frankie Muniz responded, and he said, it wasn't to celebrate our divorce. Far from it. We grieved our divorce beyond anything you can imagine. It was to celebrate the fact that we're both adults and can handle it like adults moving forward amicably. Everyone is just used to the hideous mudslinging a lot of couples do at the end of a relationship, so they don't know how to take it when two people are cordial. I think people would actually feel less disturbed by mudslinging than this cordial, professional facade that you're putting on. And I don't care if you can both be adults and handle it like adults moving forward, or however you want to put it, because a child is involved and they're not going to handle it like an adult because they're not an adult. Like, his entire world just fell apart, and nobody should take that lightly, and that's what they were doing.
I think like, part of me wants to say that Knowles, as a former theater kid himself, knows exactly what's going on here, but that doesn't make, you know, the fact that they're taking it lightly any less frustrating. Also, what was the start of Knowles, like Michael Knowles? It sounds like he framed it in a religious context, right? But I don't think you actually need to be inherently religious to find it a bit off-putting that somebody would take the disillusion of their marriage so lightly.
Well, he was criticizing like liberal morality, which is do whatever you want as long as it's not harming anyone. But I mean, of course, they are harming somebody completely helpless in this situation.
And like I said before, I think that it would be framed differently to the public if they didn't have a child.
Yes, yeah. It would merely seem reckless and unwise, but not quite as tragic. What I really can't stand, though, is the self-pitying from both of them, especially his wife, who posted a comment on his announcement saying, Frankie, I am so sorry that you felt the need to delete an old fun video of our family because people are so cruel to you. This world is so effed. Divorce is bad, sure. It's not like we're excited about it. But we're two adults who know how to be on the same team. I can't believe people could scrutinize that.
Okay, so this is actually one of those things where I think that a lot of times when you're a public figure, especially of their level of fame, you know, together, him more so than her, you don't take into account the fact that people can't see what's in your heart and they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. How are they supposed to take a dancing video about your divorce?
This is just an incredibly tone deaf response. I mean, the first post before he deleted it was tone deaf. The response that he sent to Michael Knowles was tone deaf. Her comment on her now ex-husband's post is incredibly tone deaf. Neither of them are willing to acknowledge the heart of the criticism because it's damning to both of them that also, like, they would do this to their son.
Even as,
especially, you know, it's less disturbing if they legitimately hated each other. They were like throwing things at each other. They, you know, if it was a truly toxic, dangerous situation where people could understand the need to separate for the safety of the child. But because they're friends, that makes it so much worse in a way. Because they, here, like adults, could have handled their relationship problems in a way that insulated their son from the consequences. But they didn't choose to do that.
Yeah. There's a 20 here from the Greek heel who says, your necklace looks lovely today, Mary.
Thank you. Well, it's the same as always, but I appreciate it.
I mean, I guess the best thing for them to do in this situation would have been to just not post about it, not talk about it, and go through it privately. But a lot of times, people who live in the public spotlight don't know how to do things privately.
The best thing that they could have done is handle their relationship problems and resolve them on their own.
Yes.
Without splitting up in the first place. And maybe they should stop bragging about how mature they are if they're not capable of doing that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's see. What do we want to see?
Well, this is awfully fitting for our cringe of the day, actually.
Okay, we'll do cringe first then.
It's a millennial explaining why millennials stay married.
Okay, here we go.
Apparently, millennials are getting divorced at the lowest rate since the 1950s. No big deal. Being married is like the ultimate participation trophy. But my theory for this is that the reason millennials are staying married at a higher rate than other generations is the same reason that we're annoying. We like to talk about our feelings. Yeah, like I'll give it to you. The navel-gazing millennial is an obnoxious person in most scenarios. But like, we be resolving conflict. Millennials spend every minute of every day being anxiously self-aware. That's like a relationship superpower. Millennials, we take flack, and like rightfully so. We have a lot of issues. We'd love to talk to you about them. Like, this isn't one of them. We work stuff out. You can like see it with millennial parents too. Like, every millennial parent has like youth sports energy. They're like, we're not just a family, we're a team. It's okay to lose, and it's okay to have big feelings. It's so easy to criticize millennials. Just the way I said that was too much. Like, we do everything too much. We resolve conflict too much. I'm deciding this is score 1 for understanding emotions. Man, it's gonna be embarrassing if I end up getting divorced.
It's I guess you know, maybe he's right.
Well, I saw this video before the Frankie Muniz story, and then it totally fell flat after that. I guess those millennial instincts for conflict resolution just did not kick in.
That's, you know, he's a
they gentle parent each other. That's why they're so good at being married.
How old is he? Is he my age? Is he like 40? He's probably a little bit older than me,
I guess
right?
He looks to be like he's in his 40s, sure.
He's got to be a little bit older than me, so.
He also, like, just had to be holding that mug throughout the whole video, like, right in front of the camera.
He's in a car! Why do you have a mug in a car?
There's nothing in that mug. There's nothing in
There's no reason to have a mug in a car. You're just going to spill the liquid everywhere.
It's empty, just like his words.
All right. Cute of the day.
Aww.
From Uzi Bacon. I hope that's your real name. It's literally Uzi_Bacon. Bo the Beagle, and he sent a bunch of them.
This dog has some luscious lashes. Wow.
Yes.
Natural makeup.
Amazing. Very, very cute puppy there. All right, guys. By the way, I think I'm actually running out of cute of the day. So I'm either gonna have to put a new post up. But if you want to submit your pets, go to X and find me at Brett Dastovic on there, and then submit your pets with the hashtag PCCPets. Yes, use the hashtag. It makes it easier for me to find. So that way I can feature your dogs, your cats, your turtles. Maybe you have a camel. Maybe you have something else, and you want them featured on Cute of the Day. You should go ahead and submit them there. Okay, let's get started.
The final trailer for Christopher Nolan's film, The Odyssey, has finally dropped, and it's being met with a lot of criticism, to say the least. We're not going to watch it in its entirety because we don't want to get copyright, but the stills that IGN posted from the trailer, I think, say enough. It kind of tells the whole story about why people are pissed. We have a still of Lupita Nyong'o playing Helen of Troy, screaming into the distance while she's looking to be, you know, getting arrested by centurions. And we have another still of Elliot Page here looking drugged out. And then there's one that's harder to decipher who is in it at the end of IGN's post. I can't tell who that is.
Looks like Ezra Miller, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay, maybe we'll find out later.
It would be really funny if Ezra Miller was in this movie and they just like didn't mention him in the credits because they don't want people to completely boycott.
That would be hilarious. But yeah, the studio is not handling the backlash very well at the moment. They have now turned off comments on all of their posts on X. I don't know how that's going to help anything. If anything, you're just Streisand affecting the backlash, and people are going to send you more backlash for avoiding the backlash.
Yeah.
But they've turned off comments on the trailer, on every new press photo that they're posting, even one of Zendaya. They turned off comments. They don't want to hear any criticism from the audience. and it comes off as a bubble that they have put themselves in. And I'm guessing it doesn't even matter at this point because the changes that people are suggesting can't be made anymore. Empire Magazine also did this very long feature on the Odyssey, but it's paywalled, so I couldn't find any of the coverage in it. One thing that was mentioned, though, is that Samantha Morton's performance as Circe in the Odyssey film received the first standing ovation from a Christopher Nolan cast and crew since Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. So they're really trying to rally the Nolan bros for this one. And some of them are buying it. Others are not on board yet.
I'm gonna derail a second here. Thoughts? How do you think it's gonna do, box office wise?
I think it's going to do well.
Gut instincts. 800 million, 900 million. Think it'll make $1 billion?
I think it might cross $1 billion. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
So I did a
For
video.
A Nolan film, that's just a given at this point. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I did a video the other day on this topic while we were off for 4th of July, and downvotes notwithstanding. First of all, like I kind of went into it like the dislike counter is dubious at best. The way that the API works, I kind of go into that in that video. But also, like, this is going to be a really interesting test case to see just how real the internet is when it comes to this type of movie. So, did Supergirl fail? Did the Marvels fail because people saw some? Or did Snow White fail because there was crappy stuff said on a press tour? Or did just normal people not give a fuck? And it just so happened to also coincide with stupid shit being said on a press tour. I still believe in my heart of hearts that the average everyday person who doesn't do what we do and who doesn't live terminally on X doesn't know about stupid stuff being said at press tours. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about this. Maybe this movie is proof of that. Maybe this ends up being Nolan's big bomb. I don't think so. I think it's going to make a ton of money at the box office, but it will be interesting to see if this ends up changing people's minds about just how valid the internet's criticism or at least the power of internet criticism.
I'm of the latter perspective that normies don't pay attention to press tours. They usually go in relatively blind, and there is so much loyalty to Christopher Nolan as a director that it is almost guaranteed to perform well at the box office, regardless of the backlash they're receiving on social media. And those movies that you listed, Snow White, The Marvels, Supergirl, they received a lot of backlash online, but it's not boycotts that led to their box office flops.
It's disinterest.
It was apathy that led to that. Yeah. So I think there's anything but apathy in regard to the Odyssey film.
It's purely anecdotal evidence here, and I understand that I didn't get tickets to see it in like a premium format, which is what it seems like most people seem to be really interested in seeing this movie in. But when I went to get tickets for the Odyssey and for Spider-Man, I got tickets for the Odyssey, no problem, and it comes out 2 weeks earlier. It took like 8 screenings for me to find not awful seats for Spider-Man, and that comes out like after that. Spider-Man is going to be a monster. It's going to be huge at the box office. So I
didn't think about the competition, but is it really the same audience?
I mean, I'm just saying metrics based. They're both Tom Holland movies, kind of. And
well, there are more families who are going to go see Spider-Man. There are more single adults and couples that might go to see the Odyssey in comparison. But
like, it will be interesting, and word of mouth is going to matter because the opening weekend projections are anywhere between $80 to $120 million, depending on who you get your projections from. Right. So if it's even at the high end, it's $120 million opening domestically. That still means that it has to have pretty long legs if it wants to make a ton of money at the box office. That's why Oppenheimer did as well as it did. People were, first of all, it was the connection with Barbie, opening weekend, but also it had great legs and it made its way week after week after week because people were kind of shocked that they could make a movie about, governmental hearings and all that stuff pretty interesting. And this movie is also the same length too. It's about 2 hours and 50 some minutes. So that cuts down on the amount of showings you can show per day.
So the extension that you can use to look at dislikes on YouTube, are you saying that that could be inflating the dislike numbers because it's showing dislikes from people who also have the dislike extension on their browser?
Basically, if you guys want to go back and watch the video, I wish I still had it pulled up here. I went back and looked.
They're saying it's at like 450,000. Yeah.
Basically, it's a guess. It's an estimate based on their own proprietary API. The API that made it possible for these extensions to view what was there on YouTube was taken away in like 2021. Now it uses other information to make a best guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not,
I still think it's bullshit that YouTube, removed that feature in the first place, but that's irrelevant. Now.
My point was like that was a sign of YouTube being anti-customer friendly, right? The whole point is that the dislike video, the dislike bar isn't there to insult the creator. It's there to help audiences discover whether this is somebody they actually want to listen to or not.
Right. Now, speaking of press tours.
Oh, that's true. John Bernthal is in both of these movies too.
Oh, yeah.
And Zendaya.
True. Well, speaking of press tours, Lupita Nyong'o is certainly not helping the situation right now. I think they camped her and Timesh Patel out in a room for a bunch of interviewers to go in and out for a whole day. Yeah. And she had sexism on the mind that day, because you can find multiple clips of her throughout this interview process talking about how the Odyssey is inherently misogynistic. She didn't use that word, but she heavily implied it. And in this first clip, she gives Homer himself a lecture on why he should have paid more attention to female characters in the Odyssey.
17-second one?
Yeah.
First? Okay, here we go.
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spend with them?
It's like he knew that she just said something that was going to get clipped. You can't hold on. His face, he's like, we are screwed.
How little you spend with them. Okay.
And then do you lean forward and look at him like that?
Yes, like, remember us?
Okay.
So she has this weird power fantasy about cornering Homer in the afterlife about his misogynistic tropes. Pretty ridiculous. As Nerdrotic pointed out, this woman has a Master's of Fine Arts from Yale, from the Yale School of Drama, and yet has zero context about the story that she agreed to be a part of. She actually admitted that she had never read the Odyssey up until the point where she was signed on to do this movie. In a second clip, she complains about the fact that the Odyssey is told from such a masculine perspective. This one is a little less, I'd say it's a little bit less damning for her, but still obnoxious.
Okay, here we go.
When you read the Iliad and the Odyssey, very little time is spent in the perspective of the women.
Right.
It's told from a very masculine side of things. Right. But this film takes time to really consider things from the female perspective. And so we see in Helen and Clytemnestra how this war has affected them both. Yeah.
I remember Hillary Clinton saying something similar when she said the real victims of war were women.
No.
Maybe she went to the Hillary Clinton School of Drama at Yale.
They respond to it very differently because their experience of it is very different. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was very enriching to take the time to kind of like humanize them and consider what this time could have looked like for them.
Okay.
So there you go. History is not told by the victors, it's told by women. And I really think this is not the narrative they ought to be spreading, that Christopher Nolan is righting Homer's wrongs. I don't think he would put it this way, but he's not part of the cast. So they're trusting people in this large ensemble cast to portray the movie in a flattering light, and it's not going to plan. But I think maybe they can make up for that deficit of a masculine perspective with Elliot Page. I mean, she's like an expert on masculinity now. Elliot Page is currently getting shredded in the boxing ring. Posted this on Instagram the other day. Captioned, "I've been incredibly fortunate to train with Coach Noel. He's a brilliant teacher, not just in the way he breaks down complex movements, but also in his strategic understanding of boxing and his thoughtful approach to the psychological side of the sport. Training with Nolan has been an essential part of my life. If you're in NYC and looking, I can't recommend him highly enough. Just be warned, you may end up getting as hooked as I am." And there was an incredibly disturbing photo of Elliot Page shirtless on Instagram that I don't know if we should even show, but it's pretty weird. It's just like giving everybody secondhand embarrassment for this movie as the press tour continues, keeps getting worse. And really not stopping this train.
I really do think that this is an important movie for understanding the difference between the general audience and the internet audience. And because the problem is, say this movie does $1 billion, and I saw some super chats saying, I think it was Robert Delara saying that thinks this movie's definitely going to make $1 billion, and perhaps it will. Here's the problem with that, though. If it does, the studios, like they always do, will take the wrong lesson from this. What they will take from this is that it doesn't matter if, the actors say something stupid on the press tour. This movie made $1 billion. No, it'll make $1 billion because Christopher Nolan is extremely successful, and Christopher Nolan is very good at his job and has a name that carries a lot of weight, right? That doesn't mean that Joe Schmo or I guess Giovanna Schmo, 32 Electric Boogaloo, can just go and direct a movie and then tell their actors to say stupid shit on the press tour. You have to actually build up trust with the audience so that they will want to go and see your movie because, it's one of two things. Either the general audiences are listening to people online or they are the people online. Dubious at best. I think, like we were saying, normal people don't know about press tours. But there's it's going to be a bad outcome either way for Hollywood because I think they'll take the wrong lesson from this.
The press tour is not going to tank the movie. If anything is going to tank a movie, it is that it was never a good idea to make it in the first place.
It will depend on what the word of mouth is for this film. If it has fantastic word of mouth, then that could be different. Again, if normies pass this on to their normie friends that it was a good movie, then that's different.
I guess anecdotally, I have had conversations with normie friends who aren't super online who have still heard bad things about this movie. But
what type of bad things?
Mainly the rumor that Elliot Page was to play Achilles.
That's still going on today, too. There's still people
that
think,
are running with that narrative. And it's it might as well be true if they believe it enough to not go see the movie over it.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think that's going to have a substantive impact on its performance. Would you think the Nolan fan base is online enough, though, that it might actually prove to make a difference?
Look, I'm assuming that the Nolan, to be the Nolan fan base, does that mean that they're following, I don't know if I follow the account, but I constantly see posts from Christopher Nolan Archive. It's an X account that posts lots of Christopher Nolan news. What makes up the Nolan bro? I imagine that maybe they're not just terminally online, they're terminally on Letterboxd.
Right.
Letterboxd needs to turn into a social media app ASAP.
Well, it is.
Well, I mean, they need to branch out.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it should stay how it is. I don't want it to turn into TikTok.
We're gonna have, like I said, this is gonna be a really interesting way of seeing just how much the internet discourse actually matters. Because I think what we'll learn all along is that press tours suck, but the Marvels was always gonna fail. But Snow White was always going to fail. But Supergirl was always going to fail because nobody had any interest to go see those movies.
There's such a thing as fate in the box office.
All right, let's move on then.
So 8 years ago, a young adult fiction author named Tomi Adeyemi signed a 7-figure deal to sell the rights to her fiction series for movie adaptations. And at the time, she was super excited about the potential to take her idea to the big screen. But over time, she has become disenchanted with the idea. And in February last year, the casting was announced for the first installation of her series, which is called Children of Blood and Bone. One of the casting announcements was that Amandla Stenberg would have a major role in the first movie, playing Princess Amari.
We should remind people, perhaps they forgot who Amandla Stenberg is.
Yes, Amandla Stenberg, as I'm sure a lot of you already know, was the star of The Acolyte in the Star Wars extended universe, which some people may or may not recognize as canon. She made a total mess of the rollout of that entire show. I mean, beyond belief. It was like every passing day she was posting a new TikTok rant, a new music video twerking on the haters. She was accusing the fans of being racist and sexist and all the like. We're familiar with this pattern, but she was one of the worst examples of it.
Don't forget,
and still got another job.
Don't forget she copyrighted the song and then got to claim the revenue from anybody who used it. That was genius.
She still doesn't F with the discourse.
We got a 20 quick from Pop Culture Junkie who says, I predict the Odyssey will have a great opening weekend and the second weekend will do well due to extremely weak competition. I think Spider-Man will hurt the third weekend. The fall off might be swift after that. I hope I'm wrong. Okay.
Just for context, the series is West African inspired fantasy. So the fan base of this book series was expecting the cast to be predominantly of African descent, and they were deeply unsatisfied when they heard that Amandla Stenberg was cast in a major role in the first film.
Accusations of colorism.
Yes, because she is biracial, and therefore they felt she did not embody the character that she is playing. And at the time, last year, Amandla Stenberg posted a TikTok, as she usually does, to respond to the backlash. And she claimed that the author, Tomi Adeyemi, was on her side and that she supported Amandla being cast in the movie. It doesn't appear that that's the case anymore, though. Tomi Adeyemi posted a TikTok recently explaining to her fans why she doesn't post about this film adaptation anymore. And what followed were a series of jumbled screenshots showing text messages. Some of them are from her private Instagram community. If you don't know, this is a feature on Instagram where you can sign up to someone's basically newsletter in the form of a DM group. And this was, I think, sent to thousands of people. And she was posting the screenshots after the fact. And she also included screenshots of a group chat that showed Amanda. Thank you.
Okay.
So we'll try to decode all of this, but I'll read from the Hollywood Reporter's version of the text messages. She wrote to Amandla Stenberg, this was in her fan group chat. She said, "There is a reason I will not post anything about the adaptation of my work. That's all." But she refused to elaborate on what that reason is. The video also includes a screenshot of a message she sent to Amandla Stenberg. Now, in that message, you can see Amandla sent a message before hers saying that she wanted to reconnect as human beings, to which Tomi Adeyemi said, "Do not ever use my name in an interview or video again. Do not text me. Do not call me." And then she blocked Amandla's number. And according to the timestamp from that screenshot, the author sent her message in February 2025.
That's ages
which would have
ago.
been around the time that Amandla Stenberg posted a video on TikTok that responded to colorism backlash surrounding her role and claimed that Tomi Adeyemi had supported her casting. That post from Amandla has since been deleted. Adeyemi's post included another screenshot to her fans, writing, "Since someone asked, I have not seen the film and I will not watch it. It's been painful holding this back from you all, and I'm sorry if any of you thought I didn't care. I will always care about us, more than any glitter." And when one fan posted in the comments feeling sad regarding her post, she replied to that fan saying, I do not mind anyone going to watch the film. I wrote this for us. I fought for us. I'm just laying down my sword and officially separating my name because I can't keep being hurt and attacked behind the scenes.
So this is like, the funny thing is I saw people making this like a race thing on X. This happens all the time to authors who want to hold on to any type of creative control of their work. And the second you sign those rights over to a studio, you're signing everything over. She wanted to write the script for this movie, and they're like, no, we're not going to let you do that.
She co-wrote it with the director, actually. That's at least what they claim in the Hollywood Reporter article. They say it was first at Lucasfilm that they began development 8 years ago. But at the time, Lucasfilm refused to allow Tomi Adeyemi to be involved in script writing. And it then ended up in the hands of Paramount Pictures, where it is now. And she was allowed at that point to co-write the screenplay with the director Gina Prince Bythewood,
who's the lady. She did the Woman King with Viola Davis, who's in this movie.
Yes. So the cast includes Tuso Medu. I don't know if I said that right. Tosin Cole, Amandla Stenberg, Damson Idris, Cynthia Erivo, Lashana Lynch, Regina King, Idris Elba, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Viola Davis.
That's a lot of expensive actors to get for this movie.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is still true, but they claim that Tomi Adeyemi served as an executive producer and is credited for writing the screenplay with the director.
I think she would have gotten those credits.
Still a producer now, but
I think she would still be considered a producer even if she walked away after the fact.
If she were still a producer, I believe she would be under certain contractual obligations not to disparage the project, which it sounds like she's breaching right now. Yeah. So I'm doubtful, but we'll see. And I also saw that back in 2025, Amandla Stenberg, during an interview about this project when it was in early development, spoke very highly of Tomi Adeyemi and their personal interactions when they first met. The apparent collapse of their relationship is shocking, given how warmly Stenberg previously described her first meeting with Tomi Adeyemi. She said the author told her that seeing the reaction she received after being cast as Rue in the Hunger Games helped inspire the creation of Children of Blood and Bone. So this is what Amandla said at the time. Tomi goes, "Amandla, I want you to know that when you were a little girl and were cast as Rue in the Hunger Games, and you had these racist remarks thrown at you because people said that Rue's death wouldn't be as sad because you're a Black girl, that inspired me to write this series so that Black girls like you and of all shades could have a story written about them. We started crying, and I said to myself, God wants me here." So it sounds like there was a severe breakdown in communication since that meeting happened, if it's even the way that Amandla Stenberg portrayed it, you know, without Tomi Adeyemi having a say in how she recounted the details. But it's kind of unbelievable that she would say that about her casting as Rue, because I remember the district that Rue is from in the Hunger Games is understood to be predominantly Black, so nobody expected Rue to be white in the movies. I have no recollection of people being racist to Amandla Stenberg when she was a child actress in the franchise.
Like, I saw that and I'm like, look, I don't know if it happened. The thing is like,
it sounds fake.
No. Like, the thing is, like, if one person said it, then technically it's true.
Right.
But there's a difference between, like, especially if you're a young celebrity, it's possible that reading even one negative thing probably did affect them a little bit. But it's like, it's the way that, like, and then we both cried and everyone's like, really? Like, okay. Like,
and everyone clapped. I don't buy it. Sorry.
Well, no, the thing is, I do believe it. I do believe that some person online someone said something online that offended you, sure, but that happens all the time, and most people just don't have any sympathy for that anymore because they're like, look, it's the internet. What do you want us to do? People, you're going to meet people that suck.
And in what, like 2010 or 2011, Tomi Adeyemi, as a teenager at that point, saw someone being racist to Amandla Stenberg on, like, Primordial Soup Twitter and thought to herself, that's it. I'm going to pursue my dreams of becoming a fantasy author.
And then she ends
because of Amandla Stenberg.
And then she'll get cast in my movie. It just seems all a little
It sounds very self-aggrandizing and a little bit too fantastical to believe. But most of the responses to Tomi Adeyemi's TikTok post have been less than sympathetic. From fans of the franchise that she created, they feel that this was all her fault in the first place because she's the one who gave up creative control willingly. And I mean, she was already a grown adult when that happened. She was 24 years old when she signed that deal, and she knew that that would be giving up a lot of control over her story. One person said, I wouldn't wish this on any author, but I can't pretend I don't remember how she treated her fans when they voiced concerns about the casting. It's difficult to feel as sympathetic as I otherwise would. Another one said, I hate when authors do this. You sold the rights. What is there to complain about? Another said, sounds like it could have been avoided if you had a backbone when it came to accurately depicting your own characters on screen, but oh well, you set the tone for them not to respect the world you created. And another one said, we told her, now she looks stupid, and literally no one feels bad for her.
Did I send you these? Because I had all of these pulled up, but I didn't think I sent you these.
No, I've got these from you.
Okay, yeah.
But that is the tone of most of her comments on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Like, the fans of this West African-inspired young adult fantasy series felt very strongly that all of the characters should be dark-skinned Black people. Amandla Stenberg's father is white and her mother is Black. She's biracial. So that's not who they envisioned in their minds reading the books.
And the Greeks are like, first time?
It's like, yeah, it's really come full circle now because they're experiencing what so many people have been talking about in like the reverse, which is characters who are getting race swapped, and it doesn't make any sense for the story. But it's a myth. So I guess it doesn't matter because they're not real, right?
They're fictional
you shouldn't even care.
No, it's not a myth. It's a fiction. It's fiction. It's not a myth. The Odyssey is the myth. There was some really interesting threads that I was reading that I was telling you about earlier about how a myth is different than fiction because a myth is based on a location of origin. So it has roots tied to a specific place. So it should theoretically look a specific way, whereas fiction is simply created on its own. But here's the thing. Both ways still... it's still okay for an audience to have a problem with you changing the way a character looks no matter what.
Right. Yeah, and I think J.K. Rowling will always be the exception to this rule when it comes to book to film adaptations. She retained an astounding amount of creative control over her IP.
I think at one point she talked about how she didn't want any no Americans in her movies, but now we've got American Dumbledore.
Yeah, there was some wiggle room apparently.
Well, no, that was for the movies. The show is different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but still, like, I don't think any authors have a chance in hell of signing a deal like that in current year, after they saw the amount of money that J.K. Rowling has made off of Harry Potter when it's all said and done. So it was probably a pipe dream in the first place that she was going to have that much of a say in the casting and even the screenplay. Her getting the chance to co-write the screenplay is like a pretty tall order when you're working with Lucasfilm or Paramount or any of these major studios. So she should have just shut up and take the money and not make a mess of this whole thing on TikTok.
Yeah.
I can't imagine she could get away with that while still being attached as a producer. That's why I think she probably has walked away from the project altogether. Because otherwise you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit for disparagement. Yeah. And Amandla Stenberg is going to get off scot-free because she's still involved in the project and got her paycheck.
I think I saw also this was moved to like a January release or something like that, which means people are automatically suspicious because movies that get dumped in January means that the studio has no confidence in the film.
It's a pretty stacked cast, though, compared to what I expected, because I've never heard of the trilogy before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a New York Times bestseller, but like they all are, right? So
we got a 20 from Shane H. Wilder who says, William Peter Blatty wrote and directed Legion based on his novel. After wrapping, Warner Brothers went behind his back and refilmed sections and it turned into a horror movie, Exorcist 3. He swore to never have his work adapted again. Valid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pattern that you should learn lessons from other people's mistakes and negotiate in your own interest, but she probably didn't have the industry knowledge to do that.
And these studios, they option these movies for like nothing. Like they can buy the option on a movie for like $5,000. Like, yeah, they hold on to all of this stuff, not even so that they can use it, but so that another studio can't use it.
I mean, this is pretty niche. So the last thing you want to do is disgruntle the niche, dedicated fan base of an IP like this.
What do you mean? Like, why is, like, I don't think they care.
This is no Harry Potter, is what I'm saying. This is not a phenomenon that the whole world is a part of. This is a pretty niche fan base who are loyal to the author. They now know that the author wants nothing to do with the film. Even though she's claiming, you know, no hard feelings if you go to see it, it's implied heavily that she feels this is a bastardization of her work.
I don't think studios have any respect or reverence for that type of audience, no matter the size of it at all. I think they're always looking to expand out to newer and bigger audiences. I don't think they thought about it.
It just doesn't feel like something that should get a theatrical release anyway. But the amount of money they spent on the cast for it necessitates.
This is a good thing. I mean, the race swap sucks, but this is what people have said for years whenever they race swap a character. There are amazing stories based on African culture and African mythology that you could adapt in just now this is a YA book. It's not the same thing, but people have been saying for a long time, do different stories. That way you don't feel the need to race swap other characters. If one of these ends up being successful, that is good for them because it means that there's more work going there. And theoretically, it means that they can start telling all stories based on how it was meant to be told rather than just the stories based on white characters that then get race swapped later. That way everybody kind of gets their own piece of the pie. The difference is for a story like this, it doesn't seem to have any pedigree or anybody that's really going to be interested. I doubt that the dedicated book audience is enough to make a movie with a cast that big, full of that many amazing actors, unless they all decided to work for a discount. Like, I don't see it making its money back.
It's like a passion project sort of thing. Maybe. That's
January release does not bode well for it, though.
No.
All right.
We'll see.
Let's move on then. Let's talk about Indy Navarrete.
So Obsession has just surpassed over 400 million in global ticket sales, making it one of the most profitable movies of all time. And there is tons of buzz around Curry Barker, the director, but also the starring actress Indy Navarrete, who we've discussed before on the show. She's an endearing creature, and she's doing tons of press right now, not just for Obsession, but for her upcoming projects. Everyone wants to know what's next for her. Is she going to campaign for an Oscar for Obsession? And when she was asked about that in a recent interview, she said, "It's not that I don't care about it. Like I said, I'm very sensitive, so I want to protect my peace. I don't want to get too excited about something that may or may not happen. So I'm just taking it day by day and being excited about what that day brings." It's kind of annoying that they would even ask that question in the first place.
Wait, why?
You don't want to seem overly eager. The prejudice amongst members of the Academy that votes on these things plays heavily into what decisions they make. Unfortunately, it's got a lot less to do with the movie itself and has a lot to do with their own personal feelings about the people involved.
We've got a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. It says, "I know throughout the years the language and deals for book rights have changed considerably, starting with comments that Stephen King made years ago made tough disparagement clauses. It made tough disparagement clauses now standard."
That's interesting because they mentioned that Stephen King was one of the big authors that reached out to Adeyemi after her first book came out.
Well, maybe that's what he's saying, is that Stephen King
might have been giving her advice, but
yeah.
She didn't put it into action. So in response to this quote about the Oscar campaign, someone attempted to throw a javelin in Indy Navarrette's direction because she is liking posts from Johnny Depp on Instagram. She follows Johnny Depp and also his band Hollywood Vampires, and she's been liking their posts recently, which some people feel is a cancelable offense. One person said that Indy Navarrette is ending her own career before it's starting. Johnny Depp and a somber fan. What else? Tel Aviv and Taylor Swift?
I did see a meme earlier that said Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce take off for their honeymoon in Israel. And somebody's like, bro, I can't even tell. No, this is the point. They're like, bro, I can't even tell what's real and what's fake anymore.
Right. So they're claiming that she's trying to slide into Johnny Depp's DMs right now. And I don't know. I mean, maybe Johnny Depp is her type. I listened to an interview that she did recently.
Well, I mean,
that made me think like there are other reasons why she's getting backlash that have more to do with jealousy and petty resentment than anything. In this one interview, she was asked why she would or how she would convince someone to date her, and her response was, "I drive a stick shift car and I'm really good at playing pool. So we can drink beer and smoke cigarettes and play pool." So obviously girls are just gonna hate her for even just saying that, because she's a bra girl and she drives a stick shift and she's too cool and she likes Johnny Depp and she's not a girl's girl. And they're claiming that she now supports a known abuser.
Maybe the idea here is that her character in Obsession is a little too close to that weird Amber Heard story about the shoes.
Yeah, maybe. But then that would make her more sympathetic in their eyes, right?
I'm saying like maybe he watched the movie and he's like, oh man, I'm running the other way because she's just like Amber.
Because if you think about it, the other love interest to Bear in Obsession, Sarah, their friend Sarah, is more of the pick-me type.
Okay.
She's the one who's like, I'm just like cool and chill and like, she's so crazy. Like, don't you think you'd be better with me, Bear? And he's about to go for it before she gets her head slammed into the wheel of the car. But it's interesting to see that juxtaposition. Another person mentioned Indy Navarrette making some comment about kissing minors. I have no idea what the origin of that accusation is. I tried to figure it out and look into it, but I couldn't find it at all. So I think they're just making things up because they think she's too much of a bra girl and that she's not artsy enough. That's another reason why people are mad at her. She hinted that she is considering taking a role in the MCU. And understandably, the letterboxed Americans are not happy with that comment. This was in a recent interview with Nylon, and they were, of course, making speculations about where her career could go in the next year and what projects she's about to take now that her world has opened up and she's getting all these new different types of auditions after being a streamer and walking dogs and doing odd jobs for money. It's a nice success story, but I don't think people are willing to let her enjoy it because she happens to be a real person. So
it's also funny too. It's like it's the difference between somebody who works in the industry and somebody who observes the industry. Somebody who works in the industry wants the Marvel role,
right?
Because they want the Marvel money, right?
Yeah,
makes perfect sense. Not everybody can be Glenn Powell or Sydney Sweeney and be picky choosy with their roles, right? Because both of them end up producing work as well and have multiple streams of income. Most people just want any role whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we're long past the days of like the old school celebrities who are like, remember the old trope I used to talk to you about where it's like every IMDb trivia section for like a Marvel movie has a part where it's like Robert Redford wasn't going to take the role, but then his grandson was like, you have to take it, Dad. It's a Marvel movie, because he grew up reading Marvel comics. The next generation isn't going to have that because the next generation won't have kids that care about Marvel comics.
That gives me similar vibes to what Bezos was saying about the Rings of Power series.
Well, that was his brother, right?
It was his son.
Or yes, I'm sorry, his son, yes.
Yeah, who's like a Lord of the Rings fan, and he was like, Dad, don't F this up for me.
And then he did.
He effed it up for him. Yeah. But anyway.
He really just hates his son. He's like, it was actually going to be a super fair adaptation, but his son disappointed him. So he's like, be gone with you, $1 billion franchise.
Right. He disrespected Sanchez, I'm sure. So here's the first ding against Indy Navarrete in the Nylon interview. She said, I don't consider myself a cinephile. One of my favorite movies is She's the Man.
She's got Millie Bobby Brown accusations coming her way. I'm telling you, she's even starting to look like Millie Bobby Brown a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, the crazy thing is, and I was talking about this off air, everyone is saying Indy Navarrete looks remarkably similar to Natalie Portman. And people were even comparing her breakout role to that of Natalie Portman in Leon the Professional. And Indy Navarrete said that Leon the Professional was an inspirational movie for her to watch as an actress. So her doppelganger is Natalie Portman. Millie Bobby Brown's doppelganger is also Natalie Portman, yet Indy Navarrete and Millie Bobby Brown look nothing alike. Faces are just interesting in that way. But later in the interview, they go into her dream projects that she'd possibly do in the future. So she said she has 100% seen a change in the types of auditions she's getting these days. I also find there's a difference in the way I'm approaching them. Between Obsession and the film after that, I didn't work. I was walking dogs, I was streaming, doing a lot of things to make money. I didn't have a lot of confidence because you just keep hearing no, and that can be debilitating. I now have more confidence in the decisions I'm making, and that's made the audition process a lot more fun. She has a few dream projects in mind, maybe an action film like Atomic Blonde, except the assassin is tiny, or the live-action adaptation of Rebecca Yaros's Fourth Wing. So we have a romantasy fan on our hands. Well, Indy Navarrete probably reads Morning Glory Milking Farm.
That's a positive for her, right? That means she's one of the girls after all.
She's of the Zoomettes. Yeah, exactly. So they should like her. And then she listed her dream directors to work with, including Ryan Coogler, Greta Gerwig, Michael Mann, and Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier, the latter two of whom she admitted she had met with recently.
Yeah, because he's doing the new X-Men movie.
And then they asked if she would do a Marvel film. She said she would. She would also do another horror film, but not a sequel to Obsession. Because as she said, the most beautiful thing about it is that there is no sequel. And she agreed that it would be cooler to do an anthology series where he keeps using the One Wish Willow, and it's a different wish and a different cast every time. That's probably a better idea than just making a sequel with the same characters, because that would make no sense for the character.
I agree.
Everyone was dead except for her. So it wouldn't really work as a sequel.
I will never hate on someone wanting to go and get a paycheck. That's why I always get annoyed when they're like, I loved comics. I'm like, no, you didn't. And that's fine. Like, you don't need to pretend like you love comics to do a Marvel movie. You can just want to do it. Like, I did always laugh when they're like, so-and-so wants to play this character. I'm like, it's not that they want to play that character. It's that they know that that character is movie worthy and they want to make a movie because the movie's going to pay them a lot of money. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
She didn't come right out and say that money was the reason, but she also didn't try to do the stolen valor thing where she's like, been a comic book fan her whole life. So we can make assumptions based on that.
It would make more sense for one of these people to be like, I was a big Steven Universe, like Steven Universe fan.
I mean, I wouldn't wish a Marvel press tour on her.
Yeah.
I think that would be punishing, but I do hope that she sees success in the coming years, especially because she looks like an actual person. I saw people posting this GIF of her from a bar scene in Obsession. This is before he makes the wish. So this is her playing the real Nikki. And there's this part where she negs Bear at the bar for ordering a pina colada. And in this part of the movie, she says, I love a guy who's in touch with his feminine side. And in this GIF, she makes like 10 different micro expressions on her face. And it's very intricate. Everyone is capable of doing this, and everyone does this in real life. It's just interesting to see it on someone else.
Yeah.
And especially in a context of acting, because these days it's rare to see an actress who can move her face and isn't filled with Botox. So my worst nightmare for Indy Navarrette's future is that she becomes another Botox cyborg.
Don't do
and
it.
Can't act anymore. One reply to this said, Gen Z is so non-emotive from their screen time-induced autism, general apathy, and preventative Botox that they're confused about how an actress manages a Duchenne smile. And they are truly shocked that this is possible. Another response said, between this and the reaction to Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu, I'm increasingly learning that people think the bigger and more expressive your performance, the better it is. I would say it's more about the phenotype of the actress in question, because Lily Rose Depp, for some reason, doesn't have Instagram face, and Indy Navarrette.
How old is she? Lily Rose Depp's like 20, isn't she? Or like 22?
She's in her late 20s now, I think. She's
okay.
like approaching 30, but Indy Navarrette is, I believe, 25. But they both have been spared from the Instagram face plague, where they just look like every other copy and paste Instagram baddie. And they have a unique set of features that is interesting to look at. It's not with acting, it's not all about like just being hot. It's also about being interesting to look at and being expressive. It doesn't mean that the amount of expression in and of itself makes you good at acting, but it's carefully selecting it. And people are also going crazy over this girl who was, I forget her name now. It was like, started with a B. She was cast in the live action, was it Zelda movie?
Who? Yes, isn't it?
The girl who's cast in the Zelda movie. I forget her name now because she's relatively unknown. But people are also fawning over her because she doesn't have Instagram face. And I think that's what people are praising about this performance more than anything.
Do you think that what's going to happen in the future is, like, now that that's become part of the quote unquote discourse, that actors will actively seek to avoid it as long as possible, rather than the previous generation that got to it quicker as soon as it became more cost effective, because they'll see the benefit in the ability to have a full range of emotional responses?
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to be more selective about getting work done. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like, Amanda Seyfried has told people this in interviews before, that she times her Botox appointments outside of filming, and she does that on purpose so that she's able to express herself on camera.
I think the hardest
you can do that. And I've been like rewatching Downton Abbey, and every time you go to a new season, you notice who has gotten tweakments, and it's only distracting for the first 15 minutes, and then your brain just adjusts to it. But you can definitely tell there's a difference, especially as like, I mean, I think that show was going for like 6 years, like 2011 to 2015, no, like 5 years. So I guess people would comment on it either way.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do it that's tasteful and relatively under the radar.
And now it's become such a meme that they make Instagram videos about like old, period pieces with people looking like they're from the year 2025.
Right. Let me look up that Zelda actress though, because
Bo Bragson.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the Shane H. Wilder super chatted. Thank you.
People are like, put this girl in
Bragson.
literally every period piece ever for the next decade, please.
Yeah.
Because she looks like an actual person that could have existed before social media. So that's going to become an increasingly rare and sought after trait in the industry, I think.
I think the younger actors will have to... It'll be funny if it actually leads to a point where they start like actively overacting with their face because they want to prove that their face moves.
Yeah.
Big facial expressions just for the sake of doing so.
I mean, if Indy Navarrette were doing what you saw in that GIF for the entire movie, I would feel differently about it. But just using it selectively is the best thing.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown, on the other hand, she's
making Netflix movies. She's fine.
She's never admitted to getting work done, but it certainly looks like that sometimes. I don't know.
She's making Netflix movies. She doesn't need to. You can make Enola Holmes with Botox, okay? You're fine. Mm-hmm. And as far as Indy Navarrete goes, she's got the world is kind of her oyster, but I suppose the hardest thing will be, I don't know what is, it looks like she didn't have anything filmed to come out after this movie came out, so whatever her next project is will be a product of the offers that are coming in now, rather than something that was made around the same time as this movie. So it'll be telling to see which project she ends up choosing next.
I would like to see her in a horror movie that gives her a back-end percentage instead of what she, like, whatever, we don't know for sure, but whatever she agreed to in Obsession wasn't enough to keep her afloat for a year. Hence why she started streaming.
All right, let's move on then. Super chats.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said that Bob Dylan hid his face in a hoodie, played obscure songs, forgot his own songs, sat in silence for 30 minutes, and then bounced.
God, it must be good. Can I do stuff like this on this show?
When you're Bob Dylan, they let you do it.
Can I just show?
When you're Brett Dasovic, though.
So if I just showed up on here and I didn't do, like, I talked about anything other than the stuff we normally talk about, and then I just kind of sat here?
I guess if you keep wearing tank tops, they'll let you get away with it. Let's just sit here. Let's just enjoy this for a minute.
So that's what it was like at the Bob Dylan concert? You just sit around and...
That was kind of beautiful.
It was kind of nice.
Moment of silence for the Odyssey.
I mean, it is kind of there is like an upside to that, is that you didn't have to hear Bob Dylan songs, or at least normal ones. Like, maybe if you just listen to the obscure ones, you can pretend you're not at a Bob Dylan concert, which is, let's face it, better for all parties involved.
30 minutes of silence. Yeah, I would much prefer that over listening to him. Quiet Inari said, "Where do I get tickets to the gun show, Brett?"
It's at the box office. That's where you got to go.
Shane said,
box offices
Brett gave us complimentary tickets to the gun show.
The box office doesn't even really exist anymore. It's not actually an office in the shape of a box. It's just it's a computer
for a long time.
It's just like a computer window.
Actually, I remember when I went to the movies as a kid that obviously it was more rare for people to buy tickets online. So we did go up to the office. Robert Delera said Adam Sandler could have sang Love Stinks.
It would have been amazing. And at least that could have tickled their millennial fancy.
I mean, maybe he did and we just don't know yet.
That's true.
Are they going to release like the footage of the wedding on Disney Plus?
Yes, I think she had. I read that there was a professional film crew there, so it's going to get its own Disney special.
Okay, I shouldn't have even asked.
Yep.
Kyle Dixon said, "Look at this muscle Chad in a tank top."
We did that one. That was a 20.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said 20-minute vows is crazy AF. Catholic wedding vows only take a minute. Just let your yes be yes and no be no. Anything else is just self-aggrandizement. Yeah, I don't particularly care for the long, drawn-out, personalized vows, but 20 minutes is that's just rude, honestly, to everyone in the room.
They're hungry, okay? They want to eat dinner.
Yeah, I hope that they were eating while listening to this droning on.
Honestly, that would be really funny if she let them just eat food, eat the finger food while they were doing the vows.
And for some reason, I'm picturing there's a real wedding cake and then there's a decoy wedding cake that Jason Kelsey pops out of and starts screaming and shaking his man boobs.
No, and then he eats it all at once.
And then he eats it, yeah. But at least Taylor didn't get her face shoved into the wedding cake. That would have been a
generational moment for everybody.
Yeah. That would have been the peak of heteropessimism, I think. Brian Bledsoe said, had a good time in DC the past couple of days. Got to see the Museum of the Bible, went to my family reunion nearby, and missed getting to salute to America thanks to weather delay for a very light rain.
Yeah,
I did see reports about that, the weather notice, and then people realizing that there was no severe weather at all. And they were saying maybe it was to make an excuse for low attendance at the Great American State Fair.
I mean, doesn't the fact that it was like 100 degrees already, isn't that already an excuse?
Oh, that sounds severe to me. Yeah, that sounds severe enough to me.
For 4th of July, I broke from tradition this year. Most 4th of Julys, I watch Independence Day. I decided this year to watch Air Force One with Harrison Ford, and it's so very worth it. Everybody should go watch that movie if you've never seen it. Also, fun fact, when in the premiere episode, the pilot episode of NCIS, they used the same Air Force One plane sets that they used in the movie Air Force One.
Is that because they had funding from the military?
No, I don't know. No, like I'm saying like NCIS the show used the sets that they built for Air Force One. Air Force One came out in like 97, I think, and the NCIS pilot was like 8 years later. Those sets still existed somewhere.
Oh, I thought you meant like using real equipment.
No.
Okay.
From what I understand, they did get like actual images of Air Force One. They weren't initially allowed, but then Harrison Ford made a call and got them access.
Sounds like they might have exchanged consulting contracts, you know?
Also, fun fact, the bad guy, the Secret Service baddie in Air Force One's name was Agent Gibbs, which is the name of the main character in NCIS. So maybe they were just lazy. Maybe they just copied it right off there.
By the way, I went to the Museum of the Bible in DC a couple of years ago. Maybe it was last year, actually. I was not satisfied with the section dedicated to the Catholic Church. Felt that was lacking. It was mostly just like screen printed stuff on the wall.
Who funds the Museum of the Bible?
Probably mostly evangelical Protestants, if I had to guess.
I mean, that would be why, right?
There was like a broom closet for the Catholics, but that's fine. Whatever. Fifi Gigantor said, OMG, I didn't know Brett has upper arms / shoulders.
It's the legs I don't have. Remember that, you know.
Right.
Didn't know you had legs.
Robert Delara said, Christopher Nolan makes quality movies, not slop. The Odyssey will make $1 billion.
I don't know if it's going to make $1 billion, but you know, it could. I am under no delusions that this movie is going to flop.
Well, some people are saying that he, in a calculated way, in a premeditated way, made certain trade-offs in the accuracy or authenticity of the film in order to make it friendly to Oscar voters.
He didn't.
And I don't know whether to believe that argument. Like, they're saying he's doing this as a preemptive campaign for Oscars, as if Nolan is in the position where he needs to like beg on the streets for Oscars. But that's the argument that they're using to make him look less bad.
Wait, so the argument here, not based on eligibility, because he could be eligible either way, right? The casting doesn't have to be that way to be eligible for an Oscar, literally because it will put a good taste in the mouth of the Oscar voters who will say,
and
oh,
critics.
look how diverse it is. Okay.
And critics, which is relatively true. But
I did see a meme that made me laugh that was like, it's 2023 and Christopher Nolan is being raked over the coals for an all-white movie. It's 2026, Christopher Nolan is being raked over the coals for a diverse movie.
I wanted the interviewers to grill Himesh Patel on why Bollywood isn't more diverse and why there aren't more white minority actors in Bollywood movies. Because that's not equitable.
I would like to ask him questions about who he's going to be playing on the X-Files reboot. I want to know what his character is supposed to be.
I loved the look of panic in his eyes.
He did. He genuinely is like, oh shit. And I'm sitting next to her.
But he had to sort of play it off like he was applauding her.
He's
like, oh, you go, girl. I don't really want to be in the room when you said
He's like,
that.
I'm already doing the X-Files reboot. This is going to come back up for me. Like, I was hoping to put it off until then.
Couldn't you have done that in a solo interview without me here to, you know, cushion the blow?
He's like, oh, thank God. It's going to be a vertical video. I'll be cropped out.
Yeah, I mean, most of it, but Yeah, he was catching some strays for that one. Okay, I think we got that 20 earlier from Pop Culture Junkie.
Yes.
About Odyssey. Shane H. Wilder said, if she is a producer and doesn't want her name attached, just use the nom de plume Alan Smithy, like every other director or producer who hates a film.
Is that a thing?
Wait, I've never heard about this. Let me look this up.
You'd have to look it up.
That seems like something Brett would know, though.
It does.
I'm kind of surprised. Okay, let's see. It's an official pseudonym used by film directors who wish to disown a project, coined by the Directors Guild of America in 1968, used until 2000 when it was largely discontinued.
Well, here's the thing. She
Okay.
might see that as a sexist problem because it's a male name. So
Right.
she's going to have to become Alana Smithy.
Should have been Allison Smithy.
I like Alana because all you have to do is add an A.
Allie.
Allie Smithy. And she can disown herself from this movie.
Yeah, the sole pseudonym used by DGA members who were on paper directors of a film but dissatisfied with the final project, and if they were able to prove to a guild panel that they had not been able to exercise creative control over the filming process.
I mean, that's got to be like the easiest thing in the world to prove now. Like
Yeah,
every email
yeah.
has been categorized and collated for transparency's sake, you know.
Right. Okay. They were also required by guild rules not to discuss the circumstances leading to the move or even to acknowledge being the project's director. Interesting. And also used for TV, music videos, and other media.
That's
I wonder why
interesting.
they stopped doing that. I'm looking for some examples of it, though. Okay. Twilight Zone, the movie.
Okay. Any other big examples?
Let me look through this. Dune. Wow. It lists Dune. It lists
Yeah,
David Lynch's.
I'm guessing the original Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used for the version that was edited for television.
Ah. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Appointment with Fear, Stitches, Let's Get Harry, Morgan Stewart's Coming Home, Ghost Fever. This is like going through like multiple decades here.
That's funny. I should have known that. That is you'd think I would have come across some example of, you know, reading an IMDb trivia section that would have had that information.
Woman Wanted by Kiefer Sutherland.
I like Kiefer Sutherland.
The Insider from Michael Mann.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
That was used for the television version.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for teaching us
Learn something
about
new
the
every day.
industry, Shane. That was
Got
enlightening.
another one from Shane.
William. Oh, was this a 20 that we
I got that
missed?
one. I got that one. It's the next one.
Oh,
from Shane.
okay. I'll add Blatty didn't know about the change until the premiere. The actors changed randomly in different scenes because they couldn't all come back. His original cut is available from Shout Factory.
Interesting.
Pop Culture Junkie.
I did that one.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Burned Oils said Mary always looks like she smells like Play-Doh.
How do you
That's nice.
look like you smell like Play-Doh?
I don't know. Do I smell like Play-Doh, Brett? Be
No.
honest.
She left
Brett's the only person who has smelled me.
Yeah, she left the studio and we had to bring Play-Doh in just to keep it from changing in there. Though to be fair, I don't really. I mean, all that means is you smell vaguely like chemicals, because that's what Play-Doh smells like.
What is it even made of?
No
I do
idea.
remember eating it as a kid, so maybe that's why. Maybe that.
So what you're
kinda
saying
keeps
is
it
Burned
warm.
Oils is like spot on here.
Maybe. Yeah. It's just like part of me now. I remember it was just like really salty. I think I spit it out. It was just like too tempting though. You know?
No.
No?
No.
I would sometimes go to a restaurant that would give us like actual dough like for the bread to play with before we got our food.
Yeah.
And I would eat that. I would actually eat that and like swallow it.
I mean,
I don't know.
you do eat packing peanuts, so none of this is
I eat
really
packing
all that shocking.
peanuts. I used to eat chalk. I ate dirt when I was a kid. Yeah. So I'm kind of. Maybe I still have pica. I don't know. I'm disturbed. Moon at Noon sent
It's a winky face. It's a winky face, a flower, and then a heart.
I do appreciate the use of emoticons instead of emojis. Takes more creativity.
Yep.
Boston said $2 for the mighty Karen judgmental dime piece Mary. There's a cigarette emoji in there. I don't know why.
And a rose emoji.
You can't call me judgmental because I'm confident.
What?
I actually believe what I'm saying.
Oh.
Shane H. Wilder said, "You're thinking Bo Bragason for Zelda." Yep. Yeah. I think we're going to see more of her. And Shane said, "So you're saying the Museum of the Bible only has 66 rooms instead of 73, and the Esther and Daniel rooms are not finished." Yeah, I think we're going to need to come up with a Catholic Bible museum that has everything and no parts taken out.
I got a question. Maybe somebody will know this. So I was watching. I was in the chat earlier, and somebody asked if I'd been watching Clownfish TV videos recently because I brought up Steven Universe. No, I've watched almost nothing except for like TV and movie retrospectives lately, outside of a couple of podcasts. And I was listening to this great Daredevil season 2 retrospective from this YouTuber named Spidgy, who is great, makes great content, and he makes a comment. And I was like, I don't know if that's true, but I need somebody to look it up. Where he said, like, apparently in the United States, most buildings don't have a 13th floor. They name it either 12A or they skip and go to 14 because 13 is bad
I've
luck.
heard that.
Is that true? Does anybody know if that is true?
No. And of course, they have a 13th floor. They just label it differently if that's the case. But I haven't noticed that.
But have you heard that before?
I have heard
but
that.
I've never seen it in practice. Maybe I'm just dumb.
Yeah,
and
that's mostly urban legend.
Okay. Either way, guys, you should go follow Spidgy on YouTube. He does great. He has these great Daredevil retrospectives for season 1 and 2, but then he also has a retrospective for Echo, and it's really funny to watch the really positive 2 hours he spends on Daredevil and then just the miserable 2 hours he has to spend reviewing Echo. And it's amazing. Apparently there was a scene in there where she says, because she's interacting with the Kingpin, where she says he's going to make me the Queen Pin. And then it just cuts to a meme that says dies of cringe.
Since you mentioned Steven Universe, do people actually cover that? Like,
I think they mention it mostly in regards to other animation videos. It's not like they're covering the show or whatever, but it gets referenced. I haven't watched it.
I still am like in disbelief that people actually watch Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, wow, we really share a planet with those people.
Yep.
I guess if you're in the chat and you watch that show, all offense was intended. Pop Culture Junkie said X-Files pilot shooting has wrapped in Vancouver.
I'm glad they're filming it in Canada. Okay.
Why?
Because the show
was the first one.
Yes.
Filmed in Canada?
So the original show was actually filmed in Vancouver for like the first 5 or 6 seasons, and then it moved to California because David Duchovny didn't want to be away from home. So they literally packed their shit up and moved it all the way across the country, well, into another country. And that put like a lot of the Canadian employees out of a job, right?
But did the quality of the show change?
It looked different because like one of the big selling points for the X-Files was like basically Vancouver stood in for every Midwestern town.
Right.
Every small Midwestern town.
It's just anonymous.
Yeah, and then once you move to California, you can't really do that. You can't fake Midwestern town as much.
I mean, could they go to Nevada?
I mean, you're not going to get the tax breaks in Nevada that you would in Canada. Like, that's the other reason. It's just too expensive to shoot in America now.
Right. But that was even a problem back then?
No, not back then. I mean, Nevada would have been just as bad as California. It'd been better for them to move to Chicago and try to film outside the city or something.
No, I'm like, good for David Duchovny. He's a family man.
I mean, he's been
throw your weight around. You're the
he's
star.
Been divorced and that marriage fell. I think he was married to Taya Leone at the time, and they're no longer
Did he
married.
say that it was because he was working too much? Was that a Kevin Costner situation?
I think it was roughly that, yeah.
Ooh, that sucks.
There's a 20 here from Brian Bledsoe, says it was originally scheduled to open at 1 p.m. but was pushed to 5 p.m. due to the heat. Then around 7, everyone was evacuated and told to leave. Trump posted that it would be open at 9:45. Some went back, but I just watched from my room.
9:45. The night is still young.
Yeah.
You know? But I called it pretty early on July 4th. I didn't want to be trampled in the streets. I felt bad for the cleanup crew too. Like in a way, like I wanted to wake up super early in the morning on Sunday and watch the cleanup crew outside with my coffee and just enjoy not being them. But someone has to hose the vomit off the streets, you know? It doesn't clean itself.
It says David Duchovny wanted to be closer to his wife at the time so that they could start a family. The move also was supported by co-star Gillian Anderson and crew members who wanted to pursue other film work in Hollywood. So just closer to a place where they could be making other projects as well.
That's sad that it didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said the Twilight Zone, the movie reason for Alan Smithy was because some kids were killed in after hours helicopter accident in the Vietnam segment.
Wow.
That's terrifying.
That's
Yikes.
awful. I'm glad the crisis party didn't go off there because like
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be just our luck.
Let's get to the next super chat really quickly just in case.
Crofty said buck buck buck.
Thank you.
That was a quick change of pace.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Is Chicken City doing okay?
Chicken
By the
City
way?
is still here. I can see them
They're still
out the
trucking
window.
along?
Yep. Burned Oil says when Brett was a kid, the other kids told him to eat a rock. He just took a lick of it and said, "No, I ain't doing this." Everyone laughed at him. You've read my autobiography, I see.
What? Why are they writing fan fiction about your childhood now?
I have no idea.
Okay. I guess you're strong-willed.
There you go. Perfect. We'll frame it that way.
Look, I think kids should be allowed to eat dirt. There has to be a reason.
Does there,
right?
though? Does there?
Kids just they have good instincts, and then we condition them out of their instincts, you know? But there has to be a good reason that they want to eat dirt so badly. Maybe we should trust them.
I don't think that's how it works.
It builds the immune system.
I don't think so.
It has.
Oh yes, that I generally do agree with. Right, I always make that joke to Olivia where I'm like, well, I'm gonna live forever because you lick doorknobs as a kid, and that way you don't get sick when you're older. Though of course I did get sick on my birthday, or at least I had a head cold on my birthday, and I'm still like, luckily I'm not coughing right now. But I was like, I don't really care as long as I don't lose my voice again. I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Okay, we got a Rumble rant here from Broody Gambit. Says, hope you had a great 4th. I launched fireworks for almost 2 hours. Brett, I hope you like my low-quality video of some of my fireworks. Yes! As I said in my post on X on the 4th of July, never, ever, ever let the lame, stupid, too cool for school people who are like, oh, you don't need to post your grainy video of fireworks. Everybody else is doing it. Have some fucking whimsy, okay? You know what? Sometimes you need a reason to film something with your phone, and a fireworks display is as good as anything. It's valid. It's the same way Mary encourages you to post your Spotify Wrapped. Okay?
Okay, I think that's different.
Nope,
That's different.
it's not different.
What if it's more whimsical to watch the fireworks without a screen involved?
You can do both, okay? As long as you're with...
It requires more whimsy to enjoy it without taking a picture of it. And I say that as someone who took a picture of it, okay? I knew that I was doing something that was not whimsical in that moment.
You're asking people to go against human nature as of the year 2026 and do that, and it's not going to happen.
You mean human nature in that they want
they need to film it.
the...
They need to film it and they need to post it. And frankly, I'm annoyed by everybody who always these days is always too cool for school with everything. Oh, other people do this thing, therefore I'm too cool to do this thing.
But it's not that just that other people are doing it, though. Like, there is something that cheapens an experience when you insist on sharing it with people on social media.
That is not why the people online are doing it. They're doing it because they think that it's lame now. And you know what?
That's them. This is me. I am coming from a place of complete pure intentions. I am the only one who legitimately has a whimsical take on the fireworks, and it's that you shouldn't post it.
Plus, a photo is even better because theoretically you only took the one photo and then you moved on and you watched them. Now, realistically, you probably took like 4 or 5, but...
When it comes to concerts, though, do you have a different take? Or do you think that people recording videos at concerts are doing something whimsical? Because I think that's actually the worst aspect of it. Like, you're trying to enjoy a concert and everybody has their phone in the air, obscuring the view, and they're not even paying attention to what's going on.
Have you seen the videos that they used to put together, like early 2010s, when like people would cut together whole concerts from different cell phone videos for like an artist? Do you ever see any of those? Yeah, I forget the name of the account.
I mean, I've seen some like potato phone videos of concerts in the 2000s, but not the entire thing.
The concert videos are way worse, but there's also some performances from artists that I like that I legitimately like the cell phone recorded version of it better than some of the actual
professional
songs. Yes.
Like live recordings. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like if that person hadn't been delusional and decided to record this whole guy's set, I would never have that version of the song. So who am I to tell him not to?
Well, here's my hipster take, though, on the fireworks. And it's that fireworks are infinitely superior to drone shows. I don't understand the appeal of the drone shows. I want fire in the sky. Yeah. I want a thermal event taking place in the sky. I don't care about a bunch of robots shining lights at me. I can do that at home. I watch a TV. So the drone shows are just like boring to me.
Why do they do the drone shows then? It's just supposed to be like safer or something?
Here they did the drone show simultaneously with the fireworks at a lower part of the sky. I guess it was like easier for some people to view it. But I just think the fireworks are infinitely cooler. And they've been around for longer. They're Lindy.
Yep.
Fireworks are Lindy. Drone shows are not. Shane H. Wilder said, I should add, the accident became a court case. No one wanted the film to come out, but the studio said we spent too much money. It is coming out. So they didn't want the movie to come out because of the helicopter accident that took place?
Makes sense. It just brings it back into the news.
Yeah. Whoopsies.
He also says, he goes on, he says, it also destroyed the friendship between Steven Spielberg and John Landis. Spielberg was appalled because it could have been prevented.
The helicopter accident?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just keep hearing about helicopter accidents, and I'm like, I'm never going to go in a helicopter now.
Yeah. Yep. EZ56789 says, Bert, give us a Hulkster style. Hell yeah, brother. I could do a brother, but I'd have to get into... I need to be in a moment of whimsy to do a Hulk impression.
You need to, like, work up to it.
Yeah, like, you know, can't... Like, if I'm watching something on Hulk Hogan, I can do that. Like, you can do a Macho Man Randy Savage voice at any time. Ooh, yeah. Like, you can do that anytime, but Hulkster needs to be worked up to.
Penamite said, if you told me 15 years ago that culture shows on YouTube would run topless videos of Ellen Page, I would have thought everything went very different.
Yeah, at what point did that become not illegal?
I mean, I guess the TOS technically says you're not allowed to show female nipples, but now it says female identifying nipples. So... Okay. What happens if you're gender fluid? Like, when you're feeling like a guy that day, you can post nipples.
That seems like a life hack for...
But you have to, like, note that in the caption. Like, hey, guys, I'm a dude today. Here are my nipples. The next day, if I'm feeling like a chick, then you can't see my nipples. Like, okay. Nothing makes sense, obviously.
Shane H. Wilder says, what you do is set off a firework to hit a drone.
I would have loved to see that. But also, I don't want a drone to fly down into an innocent family.
Grofty says, oh, you got it?
Lighters were the original audience participation during concerts. Better IMO, not just some light. Your fingers were on the line.
Well, now they put on their phone flashlight.
Yeah, I just think recording it is rude because your phone is in front of the person behind you.
Yeah.
They can't see anything for that reason.
Plus,
I've seen people post concert videos before. I don't watch them.
It would be funny for somebody to go to a concert and bring a tablet to record.
Like a giant, yeah.
Like
the giant iPad.
The biggest iPad you can find. And he's holding it
on a selfie stick. Yeah. That would be great.
There's a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. It says, Twilight Zone actor Vic Moreau, father of Jennifer Jason Leigh, also killed. I was on Trading Places junket where Twilight Zone director John Landis didn't do interviews, got blamed for accident, changed stunt regulations. I don't know what got blamed means, but maybe just meant got blamed for accident.
That John Landis got blamed for it?
Seems like it, yeah.
It sounds like a precursor to Rust.
And it doesn't matter anyways because helicopters are largely defunct. Like now it's all stupid drone shots in movies with stupid, slow, smooth-looking drone shots that have absolutely no character whatsoever. No, like, carving shot into, like, a convoy of military vehicles.
It starts to look like a real estate ad.
Yeah.
You know?
It does. Except for you don't have some stupid slutty-looking woman on the ground telling you why you need to buy this property in Texas.
Go off, Brett. Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, just to add to the Twilight Zone tragedy, gosh, you guys know a lot about this. The actor Vic Morrow was decapitated by that helicopter accident. Happy Taco Tuesday.
It's Monday.
Yeah, I guess he just wanted to end it on a happy note. But, yikes. Why do you guys know so much about this helicopter accident?
Yeah, I had
no idea that it happened.
One more from Shane H. Wilder says, I saw a douche bring a DSLR to a concert once. Good for him, okay? You know what? He brought his professional equipment.
Well, there's a big difference between a douchebag and a douche canoe, and that guy was a douche canoe because he didn't know that he was being a douche.
Perfect. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Share the episode out and the segments out with friends, family, loved ones, everybody in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the show with, as I always say to you guys, the better it is for our channel. So thank you guys so much for that. We got one more here from Brian Bledsoe. Says, like drones do what fireworks can't, so I'm a fan of both. Like drones to do what fireworks can't, so I'm a fan of both.
Disagree, just out of principle.
Okay.
Still exclusively into fireworks.
All right.
Anyways.
Where can they find you?
You guys can send me validation on Instagram. That is Mary Archived. I'm trying to be more active over there. Or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And to help me get TikTok famous, that is also Mary Archived.
It was not oddly specific of me. It is a whole subset now of real estate on Instagram that you have to either have like some type of sketch channel.
Well, I like the
emo realtor.
Yeah, I like the emo realtor.
So like the emo realtor, or you're a woman who shamelessly makes content that flaunts physical appearance to try and sell houses because you can't sell real estate.
The former bottle girls.
Yes, that's the meme is like, it's the meme of the girl crying. It says the bottle girl when she realizes that she can't make a living, or that she can't commit to a career on OnlyFans because she knows she's going to have to get a real estate license. All right, guys. If you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both those platforms. PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch our show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. That is a great way to help us out. So thank you guys so much for that. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on X, on Instagram at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We will see you then. Bye. Everybody.